Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Dave here from the Bear Pit TV, and today we've got another instalment of Stoke City Weekly News, the series where we go through a few of the news stories regarding Stoke City. We have a little chat about them and we see what you guys think as well. So let's get straight into it. We've got the first story. This is coming from literally everywhere today, because it's sort of a story that isn't too hidden away. It's sort of well known by a lot of people. That's happened today at training. Stephen Ireland has unfortunately broken his leg, which means he will be out for quite a while, probably until the new year now. But it says details of how the injury occurred remain unclear. We don't really know how it happened. All we know is that it happened in training at some point this morning, probably in a team game session, something like that. He unfortunately broke his leg. So this does raise concerns about whether he's going to be leaving, because that was one of the main topics. He was probably one of the players that we were looking to move on in the summer, and now that's probably not an option. He's probably going to be with us at least another season, and then he's moving on into his 30s. Maybe his resale value goes down a bit. So it is also a concern in terms of playing, but also financially as well for us, because we don't know whether we'll be able to move him on for any profit, or whether anyone will take him, because he's got a few injury problems, and certainly a broken leg isn't going to help him. So I don't know, but it's unlikely he's going to move on now in the summer. Let me know in the comments whether you would have moved him on, because I certainly would, because he hasn't really featured too much for us, and I think it was definitely in Mark Hughes' mind to let him go in the summer. But unfortunately, it is sad to see him with a broken leg. No one wants that for any player, whether they were staying or going. So really sad for Stephen Ireland. Probably should have got a few more first team opportunities this season, but he is out for probably a year now, until midway through next season with a broken leg. So next story, this is from clubcall.com, so take from this what you will. They're not the highest regarded source, but they have provided quite an interesting story, because Mark Hughes thinks that Jan-Arie has somehow settled well in his short time in England. He also says that he believes the midfielder's best form is yet to come for Stoke, which I certainly agree with, because when he came in, he certainly showed a lot of promise. He showed what he could do. He takes on a man, really powerful on the ball, but defensively and off the ball, he didn't really show it. So saying that he's settled well, I don't think he really has. I think he needs to adapt to the pace, like a lot of players do when they come into the Premier League. But I wouldn't say he's settled well. There's a quote from him here. He says, "The fans have seen nothing yet. I expect him to be even better next year." I expected him to be a lot better next year, especially with the fee that we've paid. And it is interesting, after a few questionable performances, certainly in the last couple of games, where he hasn't seemed bothered, he hasn't really seemed up to it, that Mark Hughes has come out and said he's settled well. Maybe that's him just trying to defend the price tag that he paid for him, and trying to make it seem like it was worthwhile. But let me know if you think Jan-Arie is going to do well next season, because it is interesting, because I don't know what he's going to do next year, and he's one of the players that I certainly will be watching next year to see if he's going to do okay for us. So, final story. We've got a couple of transfer rumours, because I know you guys love the transfer rumours. So these are from multiple sources, websites like Team Talk, The Mirror, Mail Online, places like that. Not a lot of transfer news out at the moment, because the season's coming to a close. It's certainly after next weekend against West Ham, all the transfer news will be flying out, all the rumours. So we'll have more then. But multiple reports over the past couple of days are linking us with two young English players. And that's Burnley's Michael Keane, the central defender, and Norwich's Nathan Redmond, the winger. Now, Keane is really liked by Mark Hughes. He's tried to get him before, when they were in the Championship with Burnley last season. And he would certainly be good cover for Shawcross, because with his injury problems, we certainly need a backup defender. It's shown that this season. He should have bought one in January. And I think Michael Keane is young. He's around 23, 24. He'd fit perfectly on the bench, maybe breaking into the first team eventually, and then our regular starter, you don't know. But I think Michael Keane, he's English, he's young, he's ready, he's got plenty of potential, he's got plenty of experience in the Premier League and the Championship as well. So I think he would be a good signing if we can get him, but with Burnley coming up, I'm not too sure, and he'd probably cost us around £7 to £10 million if we went in for him. But Nathan Redmond, he's been on Stoke's radar for quite a bit now. since he moved to Norwich from Birmingham a couple of seasons ago, and then when they got relegated in 2014, we went back in for him. They rejected a couple of bids. He came back up, so he's featured this time. He scored 5 goals from 22 starts, which isn't too bad for a winger. And certainly if Arnautovic leaves, he could be an option we could look at for that cheaper option. Again, he's English, he's 22, so he's really young, got a load of potential, and he's already played a load of Premier League games for Birmingham and Norwich. So he's certainly got experience, and at such a young age, I think he could be a quality player over someone like Jack Grealish for that sort of bench winger, someone to bring in and have an impact on the game, but certainly has loads of potential as well. So he could be something we could look at. He's on about costing around £6.5 million, which wouldn't be too bad for a young English player. So maybe Redmond should be someone we should look at in the future in terms of transfers. But those were the main stories. I've also got a bit of quick news. You may see Andy Wilkinson behind me. We've got less than a week until his testimonial. So if you've not got your tickets already, make sure to get them, because there's loads of Stoke legends, loads of promotion legends, players before that, players like Mark Steen are playing, and a lot of recent players like Crouchy, Super Johnny Walters, loads of players in the testimonial. So if you haven't got your tickets, go and get them now. £10 for adults, £5 for concessions, all going to charities. We spoke to him in a couple of interviews. Go and watch those videos as well. He goes and speaks about the testimonial. Go and get your tickets. It's Monday, the day after the West Ham game on Sunday. So go and get your tickets if you haven't already. And that was this week's Stoke City Weekly News. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and cheers for watching.
First of all, we've had a kit reveal, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I will admit it, I was not the biggest fan of Macron doing our kits.